pre-show. Oh, we're live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another 42 Level 1. I'm one of your hosts, Alistair Kennedy, and here with me always is the former Twilight Princess of all games, the current Twilight Princess of YouTube. I can't remember his new middle name, but the man of many names, we just call him one. Andy.
He's the king of the rats.
The fuck is that background?
It's my rats.
Let's get somebody's like
Rats.
tag at the bottom right.
Rat. It's fine.
So yeah, we are back. Apologies for not being here the last few weeks, ladies and gentlemen, but we are back. We've got plenty to talk about tonight. We have got Sonic Frontiers first impressions. We have got Gotham Knights, what we thought. We've got Andy getting his rat out, and we have got some talk of God of War Ragnarok, which is out tomorrow, and Call of Booty. We've got some Call of Booty talk to do. So yeah, man, lots of gaming talk. So yeah, before the show, you were telling me that I needed another SSD built into my laptop to do proper gaming.
Yeah.
Please pray to tell me what proper gaming I can't do in this laptop.
It's not that you can't do it, but you're not going to get optimal performance without SSDs nowadays. Your load times are going to be ridiculous. Yeah, but if you're not playing the games off of it, if you're only running the SSD,
no, I can. I've got plenty of space. I've got a 2 terabyte.
Oh, well, that's fine then. You were talking about having only Windows on the SSD and then everything else on a hard drive, which no, you need 2 SSDs if you're doing that.
Yeah, but I don't game, so that is the situation for me.
Jeez.
So like you're like lagging way behind. I don't know what's going on with yours. I don't know what's happening with yours, but we can hear you on time. It's just your face doesn't match your voice. But
yeah, yours is doing that for me as well. So
mine's the lead computer, so it doesn't matter. So yes, we are back and we've got stuff to talk about. So what do you want to talk about first? What pick your fancy? Pick your poison.
Pick your poison.
Even it froze.
I've dropped the resolution to see if that helps it. Let's talk about Gotham first.
Okay, so Gotham Knights. We finally finished it. Me and Andy have been playing through it. Last time you seen us, we did say we were going to be streaming. We didn't. So Gotham Knights is an interesting one because while I want to disagree with the reviews, I don't think this game's better than any of the Arkham series. But I think the reviews painted it in a bad light, possibly due to the whole controversy of the 60 FPS, which was annoying. But I mean, the game worked fine. No doubt if it got a 60 FPS patch, I would notice it. But I had a fun time with it. I don't think it's as in-depth as some. I think the Arkham games are a lot more refined and focused, whereas this just kind of seemed eventually like repeat same mission, repeat same mission, repeat same mission. However, it's got a giant-sized Gotham in it, like much bigger than even Arkham Knight. Because I was playing the Arkham games just on the run-up to this. Arkham Asylum's tiny when you go back to it because it was the smallest one. It was just one place, and then City's slightly bigger, but it's only a portion of the city. And Origins was the same; it was just a small part of the city. And then you've got Arkham Knight, which is 2 islands worth, but in Gotham Knights, you've got 5 islands worth of places. And if you travel on street level, it is a big city. Difference here is every time you were Batman, like. And okay, the first one you were in a prison, but in Arkham City, Night and Origins, when you were in Gotham, I know City was technically prison, but everything was just gone tits up. There was no like civilians; it was just all gangs roaming the streets and stuff. Whereas in this, you're actually getting civilians like shouting you out and stuff. You're getting like cops and stuff in the street. Whereas in the other ones, you did get cops now and then, but mostly it was just gangs in the streets. You didn't have civilians, so it's got its good points and bad points. Like I think it looked okay graphically. It wasn't like. It felt like
there were good moments.
It felt like an end of life last gen game rather than a next gen game. I wouldn't say it was fully next gen, but I again think that was hampered by pandemic delays and starting development for last gen, because that would have held the game back, trying to squeeze it onto both instead of focusing on solely the power of PS5 Series X. It's got annoying parts, but I'll let Andy talk about that when it comes to co-op. When you go, like co-op works, but it's very frustrating for the person that's joined the game. I had it the first half of the game and Andy did it the second half of the game. I like the characters. I think cutscenes were fine. I think some of the humor in it was great. I like the way that they all came together. the fact that this isn't an Arkham game baffles me because it still could have been an Arkham game.
Definitely.
I don't want to ruin. I don't think we should ruin the ending, but what I'll say is the ending was kind of pointless, like doing something to reverse it. And it's like, why did you even do that? Like the game would have probably been better with that not being in it at all.
Totally agree, yeah.
And then obviously up into the last 2 missions, like because there's 8 main missions, everything was fine. And then you get 2 enemy types, which we are going to talk about if you're avoiding all spoilers. The Court Owls and the League of Shadows, and they were the worst, man. Just repeat. At least at this first part of the game when you're fighting mobsters, it kind of swapped them in and out between the regulators, freaks, and the mob. Then you hit the last 2-3 hours of the game, and it's just, you're just fighting these guys now. That's it. And it's like repetitive, and we will spoil
the same enemy over and over and over and over again.
Especially, I'll let you, because obviously I'm missing parts, so you get something to talk about. But like the enemy at the end, I'll let you talk about when you have to fight them 5 times in a row afterwards, and that's even without achievement, without getting the achievement for 10. All in, I enjoyed playing it as Red Hood, and I know I've read up he's the most difficult character because his melee's weak and his pistols are powerful, but shooting in the game is not brilliant. Climbing's as clunky as the Arkham games because the Arkham games weren't smooth either. The Bat Cycle, I think, was used more efficiently, whereas in Arkham Knight, it was like, we got a Batmobile, we have to make every fight in the Batmobile, including the last fight with Red Hood when you just want to punch him. Nope, you have to chase him around the streets yet again, like you've been doing since the start of Arkham Knight. They used the Bat Cycle only in a couple of missions that you had to use it. Both of them were excellent. There was one where we had to escape someone's lair, and then there was one where we had to chase Clayface. So my highlights from the game were the Clayface, when you seen Clayface jumping through sewers and climbing over trucks and things. Thought that was awesome, very comic book like. And obviously I've went on about it every night we've played, but the Mr. Freeze boss was annoying, but like the
I don't think it was that annoying. It was all right.
He was probably the toughest boss, I would say, out of them all.
Definitely.
Like, without being a sponge, he was the most challenging. But the journey to get there, when it puts you in that instance and like he's frozen that part and you're climbing up a frozen building, just felt very Batman and Robin. Like it was so cool to see that, man. It felt different. And like I said, up until the last 3 hours, everything about the game, I was like, I don't know why people were complaining so much. Like there was nothing like game of the century. This was never going to be the best game of all time. I never thought that. But I knew I was going to enjoy it. And I did. I came out it pleasantly surprised. I do think that it's much better playing with someone else if you've got someone you can co-op with. So you've got New Game Plus as well to keep it going. There's collectibles and stuff. And I believe we're both trying to platinum this one because it's fairly easy. It's just a bit of a slog like Spider-Man was to get done. So I'm going to play New Game Plus through as Nightwing or Robin, I think, because all the characters play different. I've not even tried Robin in the open world, apart from the mistake I did last night where I was messing about in the Belfry and then Robin. And then that's one issue is...
No one wants to be Robin.
No one wants to be Robin. But I want to try to see what his gameplay is like, because I've tried Nightwing and I've heard Batgirl's just basically Batman. And Red Hood was fun, because I love the character Red Hood. I definitely think that played a factor into me liking the game a lot is... If you bought this and you're a fan of Batman, you don't really know these guys or are interested, then you might not enjoy the game as much. If you're like, who the fuck cares? But if you've got any mild fleeting interest in DC, or especially if you've watched Titans, the new series, you're going to love this game. Especially if you've seen up to season 3 and you know all about Red Hood. I would recommend it. I would say this is an easy 7.5 out of 10 for me. Easy 7.5. I think that's a fair score. And all the scores were giving it like 6.57. I think 7.5, I wouldn't push it as far as an 8. I would say the lowest Gotham game's an 8, and then the rest are all 9s. Like, there's no perfect, Arkham games. There's no perfect Arkham game either. And I know you were frustrated about no Riddler trophies, but it's got its fair share of collectibles. And I was fucking bored of Riddler trophies with 4 games of them, Andy, man. 4 fucking games, and they were mandatory in Arkham Knight to get the real ending. So anyway, I'll hand it over to you. What did you think about your time? Did you enjoy playing in the streets of Gotham with me? What did you like? What didn't you like? And how did you find it?
I like bits of it. Some of it's really good. Some of it is really weak. And I think the best comparison for this game, though, is Avengers. Avengers is the best comparison.
I would say this is better than Avengers because you couldn't co-op the story. In Avengers, 100%. It was designed as a game as a service with a story tacked on, whereas this at least had the grace not to be a game as a service. and it was just pure campaign. And I think that worked better. And I think Avengers would have been better if we could have played the story together and it was a bit longer like this.
Yep.
But you're right, it is more like Avengers and Spider-Man than Arkham, I would say.
Definitely, yeah. That's what I would say. But I think this is better than Avengers because I think the
I loved
way it
Avengers.
comes, and I liked Avengers as well. But I think the way this game comes together is better because it feels like you're just playing the game together and you're just having fun in it. Avengers, you're totally right. It did feel like you're playing your single player game and then you had these tacked on fucking missions that were just grinding, which were boring as hell. There's no actual real story or anything to them. This one, you're actually playing the story together. And yeah, there's other shit you can do like out there.
In Avengers, there's no open world though. It was just literally
makes
follow
a big,
the corridor.
big difference, yeah. Because this is like, this is more like what it would be like if you're in Gotham and there's shit happening all the time, bad guys kicking around, and the good guys have to go and save the day, and that's what you do, and it gets that spot on. See, similar to the way Spider-Man did it, like because there was loads of random crimes and stuff in Spider-Man. It's definitely not as good as Spider-Man. I would say.
I wouldn't say the game's as good as Spider-Man, but I would say that I like the crime part better because you could investigate a crime and find a body. Then you could interrogate a witness to find a fully planned crime. And that's how so it feels like you're actually patrolling. And I don't even think Spider-Man had that. Spider-Man was just swinging about being Spider-Man, but this felt like you were on the rooftops, like waiting for the police scanner almost sort of thing, looking out for stuff. And I think this is the first video game, and none of the Arkham games did it this way either, where you're actually just going out at night on patrol, starting at the bottom and trying to work your way up to a gang leader and stuff. And I think, even though that became repetitive as well, I think it did it really well. There's no other superhero game that has that crime fighter on the rooftop, scouting for crimes, feeling it. And yeah, you could say Spider-Man did it, but it did it differently. It's like, there's a crime, go and fight it. This built up, there was certain, we didn't do it by then. But in here, you had to like build your way up and find the clues, and sometimes you had to just cash them and wait for the next night. Like you could interrogate a guy, but the crime wouldn't be happening to the following night. So I like the way that happened. And then when you had to go and kind of look at the murdered body in the crime scene, and then that gave you a clue to something else going on, that was really fucking cool. I think Batman Origins had similar, but it wasn't like patrolling the city.
No. I think they had that for some of the like story missions and stuff like that, where you were analyzing things, but not so much just for random bits and pieces. But I think it seemed at the beginning of the game like there was a lot of variety, but a lot of the variety is actually quite similar to each other, like in terms of like the fights and stuff like that, which was fine. Like, because I mean, Arkham, like I think we forget that Arkham was kind of like this anyway. Like all the Arkham games, and even the Spider-Man games that we're comparing it to, like they were repetitive, and even Avengers, also super repetitive game. Like, so all these games have super repetitive stuff in it. Like, and even in the comics, most of the time they're just fighting low-level goons, beating the fuck out of them. And that's what you do in all of these games. So, like, what do you expect? They're drawn from the source material. And yeah, now and again, you've got to fight an amazing boss. That's fine. I do think there could have been more nods and more of the kind of rogues gallery in here, because there wasn't very many of them. Because there was only like three.
You had Harley Quinn, Clayface, Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze, yeah. And then like the kind of main Talia.
And the voice. So you had 5.
5, yeah. And I mean the voice is like,
but you could have thrown in Killer Croc, no bother, or like Firefly or something like that. Like
even like one of the side quest type things, they could have made them be not the extra villain cases that we did, but like there's a bunch of other kind of side quests and stuff like that. They could have made one of them be it. Penguin is in it, to be fair.
He's not a boss, but you can't really fight Penguin.
No, you can't really fight him. He's in some cutscenes and stuff, but he is there.
I wanted to punch him at one point, but
Oh yeah, for sure. But no, I liked the game. Not amazing, but good. I'd say probably it's like 7-ish, 7.5 is probably about right. I kept playing it last night after we finished playing. Just to do, because I'm gonna like you said, gonna go try and get the platinum. So I got my last legendary item. So I've now got the 3 legendary things. So that trophy's taken care of. I went and did the regulator of shockers. Beat 45 of them. That's done. So I'm just kind of mopping up some of those trophies before I go into the new game plus and have to fix my glitched fucking trophy. which is incredibly annoying. And I'm absolutely sure it's because of some sort of co-op weirdness.
Yeah, because that was the other bad thing. If you want to tell folk what's up with the co-op, while it does work, it's infuriating if you go back and play your own game.
Yeah, it does work, and I think that if me and you went into a brand new game together in either of our games and just played through the entire story like in one go, no issue. But if I
Right.
want to play outside of with you,
Yeah.
problems, big problems, because it does not carry over your mission progress properly. It's infuriating
It's
because
stupid.
some missions carry over, but not all.
Some you
And
have to even hand in, and it's like, okay,
yes,
and it's like, why am I handing them in when I've seen this cutscene?
yeah, some you have to hand in and watch the cutscene again. Some of them you have to fucking do the whole mission again, which
Yeah,
is
if it's
really
like a
stupid.
build up to fighting a boss and it's like
Yeah,
kill 10 of these or interrogate a guy, when you load up your game, it will tick, it says completed as a guest, which is fucking stupid. So the
yep.
game knows you've beat this mission, but then it's like, no, if you want to unlock the mission in your game, you have to finish it. And I found that because we kind of swapped backwards and forwards, because the cutscenes was another annoying part.
Yes, in the cutscenes it will only show the main player. In
Some of the time.
most cutscenes, probably 8 out of 10 cutscenes, it will show the main player. There was a couple of cutscenes where it would show your own player, but not always. And it's quite annoying because the characters all have their own distinct dialogue. So if I'm playing in Ali's game and he's playing as Red Hood and I'm playing as Batgirl, then I'm seeing the Red Hood cutscene and missing out on the Batgirl cutscene, which I would see if I was playing in my game. Similarly, like obviously if you're playing in my game, you would see the Batgirl and not Red Hood.
So I checked out the skill tree last night for Batgirl because I hadn't looked before, because you kept going on about the health things. I'm like, I don't have any of them for Red Hood. You're
Yeah.
right. There's an entire skill tree dedicated to health for Batgirl, basically,
Yep.
that doubles pickup strength, double gives you extra, and it's like Red Hood has got none of them. Like, honestly, go and just look at your skill tree.
Yeah.
It's all to do with shooting. There's no health things or anything like that. Not one health thing.
So I actually do think that's cool because it means that the characters will play completely differently.
Oh, they
So,
do. Like, I
yeah.
started this game with Nightwing because the cemetery at the start of the game, you have to pick a character,
Yeah.
and you get stuck as them basically through the first few training missions.
Mm.
And I was like, oh fuck, I thought I'd be able to swap instantly. Like, just nope, you have to. So I stayed and I leveled up Nightwing quite a bit, which came in handy last night getting my knighthood trophy because I unlocked his glider. And I just went in and used, because if you decide to swap characters, your XP, or it's AP in this game, but your XP goes to the other characters as well so that you can level them up too. Now, the problem with that is it won't level them up to the exact level they should be. So it's not like you could ignore Robin for the whole game and then just decide to swap to him for the last mission because he won't have the weapons, the suits, or anything like that.
Yep.
You have to kind of do missions with him to unlock other things. But the AP transfer at least gives you the moves. So you've got that option. But yeah, you're right. It's like, I've got this game digital, and like, I mean, I'm still playing the Arkham game, so I will absolutely dip in and out of this. I've technically got 3 different plays of this game that I can do with Robin, Nightwing, and Batgirl. Do you know? So I will be doing New Game Plus because we need to platinum it. But I reckon that I will go and play it through again as the other characters down the line. It might be years from now. Do you know what I mean? It might even be on PS6. I re-download it because I never played the Arkham games again on PS4, but I'm playing them now on PS5. So it's just, I like doing that because one of the main reasons, like we always talk about me going, Bon, we move. Oh, we always talk about me going digital. One of the reasons why, I don't know if you remember back in the day, what would happen with me is I'd buy a game at launch, I'd beat it, or I'd get bored of it and I'd trade it. And then it would be like 6 months later, I'd be like, I really want to play that game again. I'd go out and buy it. I see myself buying 3-4 copies of a game because I changed my mind on it and went, do you know what? I do want to play it. Or the DLC came out and I went, I need that back because I want to play the DLC now. Because I know you're not a fan of DLC, but I do like it in most games that I enjoy. You liked it up until Ellie Noir screwed you, and then you were like, I'm done with DLC for life. But I mean, that's most of the reason why I'm digital. And it's true. Like, I might delete Gotham Knights after I've platinumed it, and then I won't think about it again. And then at some point next year, I might be reading a DC comic and go, I'm right in the mood to play as Batgirl, and I want to go and play it. And I don't want to go out and have to spend the money in the game again, secondhand or not. So I can just re-download it. And that's kind of why I like digital. For me, it made sense because I think it was Assassin's Creed 2. I beat it, sold it. 6 months later, I'm like, I want to play Assassin's Creed. I want to mess about and get all the collectibles. And I bought it again. Then I sold it. And then they announced that the missing sequences, the 12 and 13, were coming out as DLC. And I'm like, so I bought that game 3 times, Andy. And like, even though it was secondhand, it was still kind of newish in its first year.
Yeah.
So I probably spent about £100 in that game and I didn't need to. But it's like, if I bought it digital, I could just re-download it. And that's what I like about my digital games. Don't get me wrong, yeah, I know there's the whole risk of PS6 could come and nuke the PS4's games and just keep the PS5s.
I doubt it at this point.
No,
really doubt
what
it.
They could, right?
They could.
Xbox could do the same, and I doubt it for there as well, right? But I think PlayStation's learned the lessons. But at any point, they can go, nah, this game isn't, or like there could be a problem with the contract, and they could
Nintendo 100% like will do
Nintendo, the digital games on my. That's why I'd kind of still buy half and half on Switch, because some of their games just simply won't. If they bring out a Switch 2, they're like, no, you're going to buy the upgrade version of it when they bring it out for the Switch 2. That's what's going to happen. So like, yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, I know there's the risk of that happening, but I'm not bothered. Like, there's a risk of you scratching disc. So
true.
I can't scratch a digital game. So like, yeah, I really liked Gotham Knights. I really liked it a lot more than you, I think, possibly. But I think 7.5 is probably fair for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's not amazing, but like it's good. Like I think you're right though. Some reviewers were a bit harsh on it. I think it's probably because of the kind of the end part of it. Like the last couple hours is a bit of a drag, which we would definitely need to talk about that. So like the making you fight this same enemy like 5 times in a row, pretty much. It's like
and the story, and it's not even optional. It's in the story to progress, and it's the same fight. It's not even different. It's just fight this thing again and again and again and again, and then we punished ourselves by going for the trophy and fighting it 10 times. So we doubled it, and we had to go out in patrols over a couple of nights to try and find them again. And it was just, I'm glad we got it knocked out the park then.
Yeah, I think if we didn't do that last night, we wouldn't have got around to it. No, we wouldn't have done it.
But I mean, like, you could have done it. See if you're one of those people that like to just slowly progress and you're still messing about in the city and you come across them, you could have done it that way, but not these. Like, I don't mind doing that for some of the things, like the 250 crimes trophy and the ones for fighting the court. But that's why I was messaging you last night after we finished, because we were going to start New Game Plus, and then I realized you don't actually get the court and the league straight away.
No,
they're a few missions in.
Yeah, they're probably 3 missions in, maybe 4.
Yeah, and so if you've to beat like
playing half the game again, like no, I don't want to do that again.
So you want to knock them out before you go New Game Plus, and you want to leave the collectibles and the crimes for New Game Plus, because then that gives you something to do, and you don't even need to do missions, because remember, after you do the tutorial opening one, you get the whole city. So literally, once you've got the whole city, you can then go and do your crimes and do the collectibles. That's my plan for doing it anyway.
I think you have to do the first 2 missions, as far as I'm aware, so that you can do the leveling up stuff properly.
No, but all your levels transfer.
No, but you have to get to like level 40, remember?
Yeah, but you can get XP. You can get XP the minute you've got the city, because when you fight a crime, you get XP. You're just basically grinding.
Well, the guide that I looked up said that you had to do the first 2 missions and then you could do it. But anyway, I need to do that. I need to do that anyway, because I need to get access to the fucking secret cache mission that glitched from your game over to mine somehow.
But anyway, that was Gotham Knights. Like, I enjoyed my time. And Andy, the fact that he's not, I'm getting rid of this straight away, shows that he quite enjoyed it as well, which is high praise for it when Andy was ready to not.
I think the combat mechanics in that in the game, and the way the game looks, I think is fine. And do you know what? Just to touch on the 30 frames a second, I noticed it for the first maybe half an hour.
Yeah.
After that, don't care.
Yeah.
There was some bad slowdown when we were playing co-op, when one of us was fast traveling and the other one wasn't. Bad slowdown at those points for the other player, but aside from that, like it was
combat worked fine.
Yeah, combat worked.
Like, see, once you get used to the fact that the counter is not on one button, like in Arkham Knight, it was just triangle. In this, you have to push 2. You had to push circle to dodge, and then was X to hit or square, and that was kind of your counter, and you had to time it. So it's a wee bit more complex than Arkham, and it gets leveled up. But anyway, yeah, that was Gotham Knights. We'll move on. If you get any more questions of Gotham Knights, just let us know and we'll answer them. No problems. So I want to talk about Sonic. Let's do it in order. Sonic came out today, Sonic Frontiers, Andy. You know, I've got a message from a friend, and he said he didn't like the look of it. I understand.
I saw that on Twitter, yeah, from Science Pie.
So I understand what G was meaning. It doesn't look good, but that's because Sonic games are meant to look like this, or they did in the past. Sonic's not on Mobius or Earth in this one. Like, I'm going to stay away from spoilers, but he's somewhere that's been basically destroyed, like post-apocalyptic-ish. So
Last of Us Sonic.
Well, it looks like we were private messaging as well, and I've heard a lot of folks saying, "Oh no, this is nothing like Breath of the Wild." It is, like 100%. It is from the music. You haven't played it, Andy. You can't see your face up.
You just compared Sonic Frontiers to Breath of the Wild.
And do you know what? You've not even played it, Andy. So here's what. Well, if you would listen, you haven't played it for one, right? So you can't judge it till you've played it.
Yeah.
However, see the aesthetics, the greenery, the forests, everything about it doesn't feel Sonic. It feels Zelda. You've basically got Korok seeds. They're called the things. They're basically Korok seeds, but they're
Speed
like
Force.
What are you talking about? No, the wee. I'm trying to think of the name of the Koroks.
Yeah, no, you're right. Korok seeds from Zelda. Yeah.
No, the Sonic. The name for them in Sonic, but basically they're in Sonic, so you could collect them. Zelda was a world where you kind of had to piece things back together because it was destroyed as well.
Yep.
The music in this isn't happy Sonic-y. It's Zelda battle kind of music, and just in general, the whole place feels like Zelda. So you've got your shrines, right? Your shrines take you into old Sonic levels, and you get to play through like Green Hill or Sky Sanctuary, or that's about all I can think of that I've done just now. So you get to play through them. Some of them are 2D, some are 3D, and they give you your keys. And then you get the giant bosses in the middle of the land, like the Guardians. They're called the Titans in this, and you have to travel up them to fight on top. And some of them have a puzzle to beat them. And then you've got like to unlock the map. It's actually better in this than Zelda, because in Zelda you just went to the tower and hit unlock. In this, there's instead of having like 2 or 3, like say my screen was 2 areas, there'd be a tower here and a tower here, the classic Ubisoft trope.
Yep.
In Sonic, there's loads of fucking these wee things all about, and each one of them's got its own puzzle. So one of them might be, okay, run through these rings on this time trial. Okay, you've unlocked that bit of the map. There you go. Another one might be, it doesn't even tell you sometimes. Sometimes it's like 3 bits of sand or a bush or something. You have to do this cyclone loop that I'll talk about in a minute, and that clears it, and then you've unlocked that bit of the map. Or others might be, get that button all the way up there, and you have to just do this platform challenge to get to it. Some of them might be, okay, here's a badnik, you have to beat them. And they're not badniks in this, but I don't want to spoil too much. But like, it's fun, man. Like the thing is, I've put 7 hours into it today already.
Okay,
right?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Leo went for 2 naps. So like,
Jesus, how long is his naps?
Well, he's 1 in the afternoon. Sometimes it's 2 hours. So he went for 2 hours then. He went for an hour in the morning.
He's probably happy to watch you play that as well. That's the thing.
No, he just wants to take the controller off me. So yeah, he does like Sonic, but like he just wants to take the control off me, and he's got an Xbox controller. I don't mind him having, but he's not having my dual senses. So, so yeah, I played that, and then I played it obviously like from about. Leo went to bed at 6:30 because that's when he sleeps, and I played it from 6:30 to about 9:30 there. 79. So yeah, about 6 hours solid playing.
Nice.
Maybe 7. So I've got a good idea of it. There's 5 islands, right? And each island's fucking huge. I've only been to 2. So the first island is very green. The second island's all desert, and I haven't been to the others. But the thing is, like, these bosses are all very cool because, like, so the cyclone move is basically you hold triangle when you're running, and a blue trail comes out behind Sonic, and you've seen it. You can draw pictures. People have drawn penis already, and like you can do that to like dig up treasure, or like you can do it, and it kind of like it's a cyclone, so it kind of swipes shields away off of enemies that are shielded and stuff. So you have to think about tactics. So are Chaos Emeralds being in a game spoiler?
No.
Right, so
that's a given for a Sonic game, I would say.
It's just out today. I'm trying to be careful. So the Chaos Emeralds are in it. They're on each island, and basically you have to get vault keys to unlock them, and you get the vault keys from solving puzzles around the place, which is very Zelda-like, and you get them from doing the portal missions, and the portals are the ones that are the old classic Sonic stages. You can get up to 4, so one's like get an S rank, one's beat it with like say 30 rings, one's collect all the red stars,
red
and then
star,
so you get 4 challenges, so you can get up to 4 in each level. I didn't do every single one of them, and I'm already on the second island, so, and from what I've read, you don't need to do every one of them, so unless you're completing them all. From what I've read, if you're just doing main story, Andy, it's a 20+ hour game, like 20+ hours, right? So it looks good. Like, I get what you're saying. It looks like, so see the pop in, it's kind of explained, right? It's not an excuse, and they could have fixed it, right? But it basically, when you repair this island, things are kind of flickering in and out because it's not fully there. It's a shit reason to justify the pop in, but the thing is, large objects and things like that aren't popping in. It's just these grind rails that you've made reappear. So to me, it kind of makes sense that you've repaired that bit and it's still glitching, but at the same time, it is popping. And if you're focused on that, you're not going to like it. But a lot of these people are playing in 4K mode action. So I'll go like action and high speed are 2 different modes in this game, and I'll explain what they are in a minute. But 4K mode, as we always know, you stand still, it looks nice. See, when you're moving about, it looks horrible. And most of these people playing the game are in 4K mode. Swap it to 60, fucking instantly a better game for me. Like, I didn't even check.
What's the mode called in this game then?
It just says 60.
Just
it's
60.
4K or 60 FPS, yeah.
Right, okay. That's the mode you want if you're moving around fast, 100%, yes.
And it feels 100 times better, and it doesn't look much worse. Yeah, okay, the rain and stuff looks a wee bit better in 4K with ray tracing and whatever, but like 60 FPS.
You're going to be running so fast you'll never fucking notice anyway.
So yeah, you do run fast, right? And so people are like, how can Sonic upgrade? Right? Sonic in most games has had new abilities. Sonic Adventure, he got the drop dash in Mania. Like, Sonic learns new things. He hasn't just stayed the same hedgehog. So you're learning new abilities.
Even Sonic 1 to 2.
He didn't have the spin dash. Yeah, exactly. So he's learning new moves all the time. So there is combat in this. And I mean, like, Sonic can punch and kick. But that's fine. That's absolutely fine because it's mostly used for enemies that are not able to be beaten with one hit because they're not your standard badniks. There are seeing your standard Sonic levels, you spin dash onto them, whatever super spin move, whatever the jumps attack's called, or the homing attack, because you get the homing attack as well. You've also got the drop dash in this. So the drop dash, any of them will pop a badnik with one hit, right? In the world that we're in just now, some of those enemies aren't badniks, so you might need to break away at parts. So basically, it's like a multiple homing attack rather than, Sonic's fighting, because people are like, what is this? It's not like a fighting game.
Also, Sonic has fought before.
Sonic punches and kicks. Even
he has a whole game called Sonic the Fighters, and he fights in that game. So he fights fine.
Okay, so this is probably the first Sonic game where he's done that sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? But like, when you do the homing attack, if the enemy's not dead when you do it once, if you hit it again, he'll maybe kick, and then you hit it again. But it doesn't change the rhythm. It's still as if you're just doing a homing attack like you would. It's just different animations. Like sometimes he punches, sometimes he kicks, and sometimes he'll spin at them, and it's just pow, 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 pow. You know, and it's like if you've watched any Sonic cartoon, the Sonic movies, you will have seen Sonic kicks and punches badniks constantly. Like sometimes he'll just bop them open. Even in the comics, he used to punch them open. So it's fine. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't feel bad. It just feels like you're doing a homing attack. So it's just a new animation. It's fine. This is the best 3D Sonic has felt, Andy. This is the best Sonic has felt in 3D.
Better than Sonic R.
Better than Sonic Adventure. Okay. That's big for me to say. I love Sonic Adventure. I will say this, right? I still prefer Sonic Adventure Story at the moment, but I'm only in the second level, technically. Sonic Adventure Story was classic to me. It hasn't aged really well, but seeing this, the movement, the way Sonic is, absolutely phenomenal. See, when I'm trying to figure out ways to tell you what you can get without spoiling it. So the thing that's difficult for me to get used to, and I suppose it's a better way of controlling the speed, because I've played some fan games, as you know, where it's different. From Sonic the Lost World on, I think it was, there was a button for speed. Remember? You held the back button and you ran. And that's been kind of it. Sonic Lost World, Sonic Colors. Sonic Forces had it as well. It was like a boost button.
Okay, yep.
Right? Still can't get used to that. But that's me. I've not been able to get used to that since The Lost World and the Wii U. Like, to me, Sonic should just pick up speed. However, this is what Sonic is. It works fine though, because on an open world like this, when there's pits and stuff, if he was just able to just go by using the left stick, you couldn't control it as well. So sometimes if you're exploding, you do want to run, but you don't want to go.
Yeah, he's kind of jogging rather than like sprinting. Yeah, totally.
So it makes sense. So it makes sense in this game for the first time to me, because before it's like, well, why can't Sonic just go fucking fast for the whole thing, right? But seeing this, there's explorations as big a part as the combat, and it's never been that, apart from Knuckles' Emerald Hunt and Sonic Adventure. Oh no, Sonic Adventure 2, which is awful. Fucking find the emeralds in your times. So for the people that complain about Sonic's friends, minor spoilers, they are in it, but they're not really. So,
or not yet, anyway. We might come into it more later.
I can spoil. No. I can tell you. Right. So 3, 2, 1. Spoil it. They're in it. They're in it. They're not playable, but they're in it. But this feels more like a solo Sonic journey than any other Sonic game since Sonic 1. Like, because you're kind of in a rescue mission, but I'm kind of not sure, because I don't know the full story, whether you're the one that needs rescued or not. Like, it's not obvious to me. If you've seen any of the trailers, you understand what I'm talking about. Like, Sonic's in this sort of digital kind of weird world.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got there. I know what they were doing before it, but I don't want to spoil it for anyone because it's the opening cutscene. I know what they were doing before it, but then all of a sudden Sonic was there. So you are Sonic. I have spoke to the characters, like, and it seems to be a way that we can free them or they can free me. I'm not sure what's going on with it. I'm not up to date in the plot. However, it did dive into a bit of the plot recently, and it involved the wee stone face mask, the Korot things. I can't think of the name. There's a name for them. And
I have no idea what these are. I don't remember these from any Sonic game.
They're not in any Sonic game, but I think that they're an ancient version of the Chow, because when I was collecting them, so basically you have to collect them. There's the 2 daddy ones, right? And you have to deliver them back, and that's how you upgrade Sonic speed and defense and attack and whatever, right? You hand them back in. It's like, do you want to be faster or do you want more rings? And I've just went, give me more speed, more speed, more speed. I don't care about the rings, because like you can only collect 400 rings in this, right? For some reason, which is fine, because you could only collect 100 in the old ones. Now that I've said that, But when you collect 400, something fucking cool happens. This is a slight spoiler, right? So you know that bit in the movie where Sonic goes and his eyes light up blue and the electricity goes all over him, and he cackles just as about to run. That happens, like almost that scene, and you can suddenly go fucking. You can sprint across islands fast as fuck, and I'm like, holy shit! This is the coolest moment in a Sonic game I've had in decades, right? Honestly, like, because I was running about, I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's about as fast as Lost World. You know how fast that was, and like that was fine. But then see when I get the 400 rings, and it just the screen went like that with the 2 like black lines, like a movie, and Sonic's eyes came up to the screen, and then the electricity came over him, and it just went when you run. And as long as you don't get hit, you can keep that speed up. I'm like, holy fuck! So you can suddenly get the momentum to go straight up like cliff sides. You can like run on the side. Like you can do that. You can do like parkour, running up walls. You can do that anyway, but you kind of have to like be careful. See, when you're doing this speed, it's just like how you would imagine Sonic was. And I mean, like, I'm having so much fun with it. Like, that's the biggest thing to me. Is it a good Sonic game? Yes. Is it fun to play? Yes. Like, I bought Sonic Colors Ultimate last year. Still not finished it. I don't even think I've put 7 hours into that. I didn't like it. I tried it on the Wii, but I didn't play it in the Wii. So I thought, everyone goes on about Colors, I'll try it. I didn't hate Forces, but I didn't love it like this. I didn't think Forces was the worst game I played. However, all your issues that you have with, or you don't get to control Sonic, you're in an open world now. So you can, every minute, control Sonic. It's got very... What was that game you liked where you climbed up the big things? It was awful. It was the sequel to the game where you shouted your pal.
Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus. I couldn't remember the first one there. So there's big beasts like that aren't the main bosses, where you have to like run up the side. It's almost like that to get to the top to attack them, and then you'll get knocked back down, and then you have to fight up. I don't want to talk about the first boss, but that's the best boss I've probably ever fought in Sonic, not counting the 2D games. Like, honestly, it was comparative to how awesome it felt fighting Perfect Chaos in Sonic Adventure. You know, at the end when you're like going down all the water and then you have to fight them and then you get through. Honestly, you get to it and it's like proper heavy metal sounding, rah, 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 like proper like scream core, almost like mad music. And I'm like, this is awesome for Sonic. And because of, minor spoiler, I just got all the Chaos Emeralds at that point, it chimed in with me going Super Saiyan, basically. So I was like, this is amazing. There's also Eggman tech all about. I'm not quite sure what that's all about yet because I haven't met Eggman. I think he is here with me.
Yeah, he's got to be in the game.
He's got to be, but like, it's weird because there's time travel involved here as well because his tech's like almost half buried in the ruins and stuff. It's like Eggman tech. What's he doing here? And it's like, it's still coming together. There's this thing called Sage. You've probably seen the weird wee girl with the anime hair that's kind of all digitized. She's kind of teamed up with Eggman, but she kind of seems to be out doing her own stuff. And then I don't really want to talk about Sonic's friends, but if you could see anybody behind me and you know of a certain pink hedgehog, then I can guarantee that those guys are in it. And if
obviously they're going to be in it, like that's true. Like they're obviously going to be in it.
The coolest thing is, for me anyway, one of the portals I went through wasn't to do an old Sonic level. It was to do fishing.
Oh, okay. Like with Big?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, nice.
So Big the cat, hey Sonic, do you like to fish too? And he's like, Big, what are you doing here? He's like, you fish, like it's so addictive. And it's like pulling in fish, you know, just like a Yakuza game or like Dragon Ball, you're fishing. And I'm like, this is so relaxing. It's just a break. And like I'm pulling in different things. It's like tin can, okay, 6 points. And I'm like, but you only gave me like 2 for a lobster, Big. So he's like his own wee shot, but like you have to collect purple coins to go fishing. And then like, do you know what was? It just made me smile. I pulled in, you know, one of those choppers that jump up the bridges.
Yeah,
the fish, the red and yellow fish from Sonic. I pulled in one of them. Like I was like, because you can't see it because it's like your normal fishing game. You see the water and it's like aim where you want to go. Something bites and then you have to pull it in. They're all realistic looking, like a stingray or a lobster or a carp or a cod. And then it's like you pulled in a chopper. It's like that's funny. So, like I said, I put 7 hours in, but I'm not even halfway through the game yet because I'm loving it. So the loops that you're seeing about in the sky and all the trailers, I think the trailers, even though they've done a better job near the end to sell it, they did not sell what this game is properly or well enough. Like what this needed is, you know how Nintendo do that, and now let's take a look at some of the features that we've got in the new Zelda game. Hope you like them. And it goes, and it goes, Link can now go and cook things, and it shows you each individual feature. They should have done that for Sonic instead of just going, yeah, it's a Sonic-ass Sonic game, because it's not a Sonic-ass Sonic game. It's a Sonic game, but it's been blended with Pokemon Legends, kind of open world, Zelda open world, you know, like it's as fair to compare Pokemon Legends to Breath of the Wild as it is to compare Sonic Frontiers to Breath of the Wild. That's what I'm saying right now.
I think the trailers, like from what you've said there, the trailers don't really seem to have covered anything about these like levels that you go into at all.
No,
like,
they haven't.
They just showed you the open world and that's it.
Yeah, but they only showed you the first island.
Yeah, the green one with the grey bits in it. Green,
so it's like
green grass, grey bits in it. That's it.
They should have went in a bit deeper. They could have kept the final zone secret, and they could have kept. But why not say Sonic can go into portals and experience classic Sonic levels? And it's like, why not let?
I think that 100% sells the game 10 times better than showing this open world thing does.
Yep. And do you know what they should have compared it to? Fucking Generations. That everyone loved Generations, and it had the classic Sonic levels and the 3Ds. This is very similar, but imagine those are your shrines in Zelda. So to do them,
does it have 3D levels as well? Then
yeah,
okay.
3D. Cool. It has. Well, the whole open world's 3D, but your your shrine. Your shrine, they're not called shrines, they're portals, sorry. Your portals, which are your Zelda shrines, instead of being a puzzle, like I said, it's either a 2D Sonic level or a 3D Sonic level. So it could be 3D Greenhouse Zone or 2D Greenhouse Zone. I haven't came across Chemical Plant yet. But
basically what this game is this game is Sonic Jam.
Generations 2.
No, Sonic Jam 2.
Not really, because it's not full games, because Sonic Jam is a compilation.
Well, yeah, but I suppose, yeah. But Jam had the open world. It had this big open world.
It wasn't open. It had a small island that you could jump in.
At the time, it was a massive open world to me.
So the thing is, this is massive open world, right? And my next article I'm about to write, there's 3 variations of fast travel, quick travel.
Okay.
3.
There's that
Right,
blue
so
lightning. Like fucking that sounds awesome.
that's not even one of them.
All right.
That
Okay.
that blue lightning bit's just Sonic running faster.
Mm.
So, at the end of the first boss, I got sent to the second island, and I'm like, oh fuck, I was nowhere near finished. I didn't realize the boss would just kick me to the second island.
Mm.
So luckily, I was chatting to one of the guys, and he was like, "Look, if you go here, you can swap back maps. It doesn't tell you that." So I was like, "Right, we need to do a guide in that." So that's one, swapping the maps, right?
Mm.
Then there's, like I said, once you've unlocked the sections of the map, what it does is it places grind rails. So like each section is like map point 01, map point 02. So it's like MO1, MO2, MO. So there's like 20, 30 in one island. And see if you do them in order.
Mm.
What happens is these broken things that pop in and out, a bit like my arm is just now, they join together so that you can grind from one map point to the next fast. So like if you're like, fuck, I need to go back to say map point 5. Oh, it's fine. Map point 3 is just here. I'll hop in the grind wheel. Just you grind away. So it's fine. It works. That's why they're in the sky and everything. They're not there initially. There are some bits of them in parts, but you're joining them back up by unlocking this map. Right?
And that's a bit like Death Stranding, where you're creating your highway.
In a way, yeah. In a way, but except you grind like Sonic does. So, and this is through the fishing game. Please read my articles anyway. But like in the fishing game, you can pull up a map and you can give it to one of the daddies of the Korok seeds. They're not the dads. One's like the elder or whatever it is. But you need 2 of them per island through the fishing game. And what that does is unlocks fast travel to any of the elders of the guys that's about. So that's kind of your fast travel to different points as well on the map. So yeah, I'm writing all that up anyway. But like the game's absolutely huge. Like because once I figured out how to swap maps back to the first map, I'm like, I'm going back to my initial map here because I've nowhere near got enough out of the first bit that I want to. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think the fact I'm already 7 hours in, I'm not halfway yet. I think I'm going to take longer than 20 hours. Like these journalists would. So before I finish up, I did say at the start that I was going to talk about the 2 modes. There's action mode and high speed mode.
Yeah.
So this game is one of the most accessible games I've seen outside of Last of Us because it had a lot of options.
Yeah.
So this game has got 2 presets: action mode or high speed. High speed is your standard Sonic, fast as it can be, slightly pulled out camera, when he runs, that sort of stuff. Action mode is more, the camera's further in, Sonic moves slightly slower, and it's more precise when it comes to platforming. So you've got those 2 modes, but then you can go in and tweak things. You've got like your velocity speed, how fast you bounce, how fast you spin dash, how fast Sonic takes off initially at. Do you want him to build up speed or do you want him just to go? And these are all sliders, Andy, in the options menu for accessibility. So not only is it good for people that need the accessibility options, but it's good for younger kids. Like I could turn all these up to full for Leo so that he could have a blast running about. I've kind of left them more or less just in standard for high speed mode for me, and I'm having a blast, but it's good to have them. You see all these journalists saying it took them 20 hours. They would have fired that on easy mode and got through it as quick as they could, right? I'm playing this in normal because there's easy, normal, and hard mode as well. And I'm not rushing just to do the main missions because I want to finish the side stuff as well. Because there's tons of collectibles, tons of things to see. And it's like, I'm getting annoyed when it's like I've got 3 out of 4 keys from these like mini missions. It's like I could have done that faster because it's like getting S rank, do this, do that. And I'm like, right, well, I need to go back and do that now. So it's a whole load of fun. It's the biggest Sonic game I can think of. Bond, are you kidding? It's the biggest Sonic game I can think of. And they've finally nailed how 3D Sonic should feel. Like, he feels solid. Like, yeah, it works. Because sometimes Sonic, even though Sonic gets a passage, every time out the door for me, like, sometimes Sonic is like, well, this isn't working very nicely. I don't like how this handles. No, there's no issues with that here. So I'd say anybody that likes Sonic, and if you like Sonic lore, you're going to like this. If you like 3D Sonic, you're going to like it. If you like Generations, you're going to like it. And if you're weirdo like Andy and think Sonic jams anywhere, anything like this, then you're going to like it. But yeah, I'm overly surprised by this. Like, seriously, I'm like, do I really want to play? Like, God of War unlocks here, which is a segue into our next section before we finish. But God of War unlocks here in an hour. I'm more interested in playing Sonic at this point in time, man. Like, and I knew I would chip away slower at God of War, but
I'll be happy if you do that because then you'll give me no spoilers for God of War. Because I know you're gonna end up giving me spoilers tonight for God of War because I'm not getting it till tomorrow.
Oh, is it not arriving until tomorrow for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, it obviously it comes out tomorrow, so it'll arrive whenever it arrives
All
from
right.
Amazon.
So before we talk about God of War, we've got to talk about Modern Warfare 2, Andy, because we both got it. I beat the campaign. Like I said, I wasn't going to get this game, but then I seen it quite cheap on CD keys. I'm like, I need to get it. Do you know, absolutely amazing campaign. Like the story and it's phenomenal, and that's why I said to you, please don't play this campaign. Like I would rather give you I'd rather give you a free point on your games than ruin it, because Modern Warfare 2019 started the story, and this one continued on. It was so good. Like it's such a good story. This is the best Call of Duty campaign I've played. Like, and that's including Ghosts and Infinite Warfare. And I really liked Infinite Warfare.
Me
So
too.
did you. That was the space one. This campaign's the best. Honestly, it really is. Online's pretty good. You know, I'm not the biggest online Call of Duty fan anyway, but I've had some fun out of it. But this campaign, oh my goodness! And then you get kind of tempted into, and it's quite fun. Like you're more Battlefield than I am, but Fraser started telling me about this Battlefield mode, and I'm like, I'm not playing that. And then I broke and said I'd play it, and then out of nowhere, you're like, yeah, I'll play with you guys as well. And it's like, I can't remember the name of it. I think it's Ground War.
Something like that, yeah.
And it feels so weird. Like when we were playing it, I was describing it as when I first played Warzone, I'm like, it's weird playing Call of Duty Battle Royale. It didn't feel right at first because I was used to PUBG and Fortnite.
Yep.
And it's like Call of Duty are doing Battle Royale. And you get used to it. And then playing this, it was literally you had A, B, C, D. That's Battlefront and Battlefield.
Yeah, totally.
And it was a giant map. There was helicopters everywhere. There was tanks everywhere. There was snipers everywhere. The only thing that was missing was building destruction, but it felt so weird. It definitely felt like playing Battlefield. And I even sent you an article that said how Call of Duty's out Battlefield and Battlefield, basically. And I think that was pretty close, man. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I think it was pretty close to like a Battlefield type experience. Apart from the building destructions, if they had that, then like it'll be absolutely brand new. But I enjoyed it. Like the mechanics that were good. That like it's hard. Like I'd say it's harder than Battlefield because the players are better. I think because I think you get a lot of people that are really sweaty in COD, and like Battlefield, you get people that are kind of like a lot of people that are middle of the road, and then some people that are really kind of sweaty in it. But like, oh my god, I died so many times. Like it's unreal. What was that video you sent me where it was like I died so many times?
So because Warzone 1's finishing, because like you've got like a week and then Warzone 2's out or something like that. It was like type in your Activision ID and get your memories from Warzone. And like I'd only played 16 games of Warzone total because I was never a fan of it. And I played like 4 hours. So like it was basically giving me my stats, and it was most played with squad because I think I played with you and Michael when it first came out.
That's right, yeah.
So we played it quite a bit. And then that was before Michael left us as well for the PC squad, and he now plays with them. Although now it's all cross-platform
together, yes, it's fine. Yeah.
Because we did, because like one of us was in, well, we were both in Xbox, for us was in PC, but I could have been in PlayStation, or you could have as well. But so it was just like the most killed teammate was you, like, and it was the most fallen damage was Andy, and it was like most deaths in like one match. It was like 17 deaths, Damien, and I was like, this is hilarious. So yeah, it was just like a recap of Warzone 1, you know, like your memories, like thanks for playing it. It says we'll see you in Warzone 2 at the end. It was an Activision thing they done as a gimmick. So it just pulled your stats together in a video. For mine, it must not have took them long. I mean, I'd only played 16 games of it, and 4 hours worth was that.
So, I definitely played more than that. Like
in my very first Warzone, I get 5 kills, which I don't think is bad for your first ever Warzone game. And I'm sure we played it at launch. So
yeah, we did, yeah.
So yeah, Modern Warfare 2, I think it's really good. I can't wait for you. I really think you should jump on Modern Warfare 2019 because it's not as dear, so you won't lose money as quick. And play that story mode, man, because see the story in this so good. I think you must get it for about 15 quid now.
Yeah, it's cheap. Like I only picked this up so that I could just play multiplayer with you guys like once or twice. So
yeah, I'm going to be back on. Like
if you're playing again, let me know.
Yeah, we will be playing again. Like the only reason I wasn't tonight was because Sonic. Like, and tomorrow I'll probably play at the weekend God of War because I'll have knocked out more of my articles by Friday, Saturday at least. So yeah, I really do enjoy this COD game, and I said I wasn't going to get it, but the graphics and everything in the PlayStation 5 versions, Series X I got it on.
Series X, yeah.
Same as PS5 though.
Yeah, like I mean, multiplayer maps look good, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I'm
the
really liking it.
mechanics are good. It's like shooting is
Solid.
as you would expect. Call of Duty, perfect.
Yeah.
Fine.
So yeah, such a good game. So yeah, we'll finish up shortly, but I want to talk about God of War Ragnarok because the reviews for that came out a few days ago, Andy, and this is looking like most folks' game of like the year, like game of what? This is the one that has knocked Elden Ring off the top spot for many people
Yeah,
already.
which like anyway, Elden Ring is like so far ahead of anything else that I've played this year. Like
But you did love God of
miles
War
ahead.
a lot more than I love God of War.
I did like God of War a lot. It was a really good game. I was actually just was checking there to see when I played God of War because I couldn't remember. I'm like, did I get the last God of War day one? I couldn't remember,
Yeah,
but I
you
did.
did.
I got it day one. I just had to check my trophies there to see when I got the first trophy.
I
And it
got it
was
day one
the
as
day it came
I
out.
got it day one as well because I pre-ordered the PlayStation 4 again for it because at that point, remember, I was done with
That's
the
right.
Pro
Yeah.
was such a letdown,
Yeah.
and I went, do you know what? I'm coming back. I'm going to pre-order the God of War launch edition. I got the white God of War console and
Oh, that
I
was when
played
you
it.
surprised me with it, that you'd played it. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, I was disappointed because I loved God of War 1 to 3, like hack and slash, Devil May Cry style, and then this was this. And I got used to it, but then I get stuck at an elevator and I went in the huff with the game until like a month ago. Like I only finished God of War last month, remember?
Yeah.
Because I went back to it and I went,
Yeah.
that was the only bit in the game I get stuck at. Everything else was
Yeah.
easy. Like every single, even the final fight at the end with what's his face? It wasn't Thor.
Boulder, I think it was.
Balder, yeah,
Yeah.
wasn't too bad. And it's like this was all actually really good. I'd have probably enjoyed it a lot more if I'd managed to get past the lift easier. And I still don't know what I was doing wrong, but I didn't change the difficulty, so which you told me to do over the past 3 years.
Well, because I did change the difficulty. An elevator, different. I think it was a different one from you, maybe, but because I got completely stuck and I had to put the difficulty down to beat it. But I don't care. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't care now, but see, because I'd started that game in normal, I'm like, no, it's not beating me. It's not beating me. And it wasn't too difficult. I don't think it was a difficult game by any means. And then it gave you a lot of stuff for end game. And like, see, to be honest, see if I'd finished this game back then, I'd have probably done like the side story stuff afterwards because I was enjoying it. But because I finished it last month, I said to myself, right, you've not put too many hours in to finish this. So if you just finish up here, you can probably jump into Ragnarok when it comes out and not be sickened.
Yep.
Because I learned my lesson with Zelda many years ago, folks, when we were doing the audio show, and I decided to try and play every single Zelda game. And did I finish 3 or 4 of them back to back? And I went, and I didn't play an RPG for at least a year. Any RPG.
I think it was longer than that. Like I think it was 2 or 3 years. Like,
it might have been. I think it was Final Fantasy 14 that brought 15 that brought me back, wasn't it? And I was like, okay, I'll play this one. But yeah, I didn't play anything. Didn't play any RPGs, and RPG used to be my favorite genre, and it's still not my favorite genre anymore because of Zelda. I love Zelda and I love RPGs, but playing 4 of them back to back, one after the other, just it ruined me. I was like, I'm not doing it. I can't. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to God of War. Like I've stayed away from any spoilers and stuff like that. And I've only seen like the trailers and that, and
I've seen the trailer.
talk about it vaguely. And I've tried not to really pay any attention to the reviews and stuff. Obviously, I've seen the scores come in, which is cool. But I really liked the first game, so I'm on board for the second game, regardless of what the reviews said. Anyway, even if people said it was shit, I would still have bought it.
I don't think one person said it was like below 80%. I think that was the lowest I've seen.
Yeah. So yeah,
which is insane.
This is going to be a high quality game.
Let's just see what it's sitting at right now.
Is it going to beat Elden Ring for me? That's the big question.
It will.
It'll be hard. But I mean, I put 160 hours on Elden Ring. I fucking loved that game, man. Loved it.
So anything over 50 votes, anything over 50 reviews, Andy, right, you would probably say is right, that's it, set in stone. Nothing else really matters now. Yeah. So let's just take a look at the Metacritic here if you don't mind. I'll share this with you. So this is the God of War Metacritic right here, Andy, based on, can you see that? 126 reviews.
Yeah, nice.
94 based on 126. What game has had that many reviews and is sitting at 94, man? Like normally after 50, it's like it might go up or down, but the fact that that's 126 basically all coming and saying, yeah, this is one of the best games ever. That's insane. Look at this. 100. I mean, 94. Insane.
100 is a bit crazy. Like, no game's perfect.
No, but you've not played it.
There's no such thing as a perfect game.
It depends. It's subjective. Every review is subjective.
But I refuse to believe this game's perfect. In my review score, the best game of all time, Final Fantasy 7, 97%. Nothing will ever be higher than that.
Sonic 3 Knuckles is better than Final Fantasy 7. I'm saying that right now. It is. It's almost flawless, the original version. But yeah, so that's insane. That's insanity because the original God of War scored high. I think it was 89, 90, round about there.
Yeah, I think it was in the 90s, yeah.
Yeah, but 94, man, like, in a lot of places, like, that's nuts. And that's from 126. That means most of them gave it 9.
Yeah.
Nuts. But why can't a game be perfect? Why can't, like, I don't think it will be, but why can't I play Sonic Frontiers and go, that was the best game I've ever played. It's 10 out of 10. I wouldn't change it. Like, why can't I say that if I'm reviewing it?
I mean,
you could say it.
In my review score,
this is my biggest 10 out of 10. No, but this is my biggest problem. But you don't review stuff. But this is my biggest problem is that, like, I think some journalists are too scared to give it a perfect score. It's like, give it a perfect score and move on. Move on with your day. Just
not IGN.
No, not IGN. But that depends how much you pay them. No, but you know what I mean? Like, most journalists will give it like a 4.5 out of 5 or a 9.8 out of 10. It's like, come on. What's fucking minus 0.2%? What the fuck is that? So that's why I like my reviews 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, because that's a better scale than like 98.7%. Fuck off. How did you judge that? Like, that's stupid. I hate seeing review scores like that. It's just round it up. I also hate seeing 98%. It's like, get to fuck, round that up. Round it up. So it should either be on the 0 or 5. But yeah, anyway, I'm looking forward to God of War, but I'm putting more of my focus into Sonic. Like, I think I'm going to enjoy God of War, but like, Sonic's giving it a lot more competition than I thought. Like, I've got a feeling I know how my game of the year's going already, but I'm not even halfway through Sonic. Andy, you keep saying that. You've not even played it. You've not played it.
I'm much more interested in it after listening to what you've said about it there, to be fair. Like,
because it wasn't marketed correct.
And the trailers and shit like that, like, does not look good. It doesn't look like
it doesn't even show you the puzzle solving and stuff like that. And it's like, why are you doing this? You're trying to make it look like Forces. No one liked Forces.
It looks bland. It looks bland and slow from the trailers. Bland and slow.
Yes, it does. But there are sections where it is bland and slow.
Yeah.
Because the land's bland and there's points where you have to go slow. But they've focused on that. It's like,
why?
Yes, it was a nice surprise. Why? Do you know how they should have had this trailer? Show and Sonic can get an extra boost of speed when he hits his ring limit, and have him doing that blue lightning thing and going, and folk will go, that is cool as fuck. Look how fast he's going.
Yep.
But they haven't.
They've basically they've saved all the cool moments for the people that actually buy the game.
Yeah.
But because they're not showing anything cool,
no one's
going to buy it. Like,
to be fair, the review scores aren't as bad as I thought. Like, I thought they were going to kick this to the curb because reviewers love to kick Sonic to the curb for some reason. I think the review scores are very under. Like, Gotham, I think they're a bit under, but I think Sonic Frontiers deserves to be in the 80s. At least for those guys. For me, it could be higher, but for those guys, it should be in the 80s. There was, like I said to you last night, there's a guy that said Sonic 06, and it's like, hold on. See, when you reviewed FIFA, did you talk about FIFA 06? Did you? No, you did not. You talk about the last one in the series, which would be Forces. Fair comparison, even though this game's completely different because Forces wasn't open world at all. It was just literally 3D stage, 2D stage, 3D stage, 2D stage.
Sonic 06 wasn't open world either, was it? I never played it, so I don't know.
It had a hub world.
Do you know why they're comparing it to Sonic 06? Because on the box art for Sonic 06, it's Sonic
with similar
in 3D and he's green grass. That's it.
Yeah.
That's why they're comparing it to Sonic 06.
Do you know the thing that annoys me as well when they're talking about Sonic games is, like, do you ever hear about anybody complaining that the first level in every single Mario game is World 1-1? Like, but you don't hear them complaining. So why are they always saying, oh, why is it Green Hill Zone? Because it's the first level in Sonic. It's one of the best designed levels in video game platform in history. It really is. They spent more time on that one level than the other levels in the game. And don't get me wrong, it shows for Sonic 1, but Green Hill Zone's almost perfection platform wise. It's much better than World 1-1, but no one ever brings up World 1-1 being in every Mario game, do they?
No.
I just think that it's cool for them to not like Sonic. It's cool for them to say disparaging things about Sonic, and it's cool for them to compare it. See, the the worst one. Sonic hasn't had the easiest transition into 3D. Write something
It was
else.
20
You've
years
been
ago,
writing.
mate. It was 20 years ago.
And Sonic Adventure was actually decent. Like, no, but that's what they keep saying. He hasn't. Sonic, it's well known that Sonic didn't have the easiest transition into 3D. It's like, why are you writing that in 2022? Like, 1998 was when he first came into 3D with Sonic Adventure. Well, so, if you count Sonic Jam, then it was 96 or 7. And if you count Sonic's 3D, which wasn't really 3D, then it was 94.
2.5D that game was. That game was not 3D.
Says on the box, mate, Sonic 3D.
I know it does say that, but it's a lie.
It's right there.
That box art is a lie.
So, like, some of the reviews, it's just like, why are you even asking for review code if that's what you're going to go do about it? Like, take it for what it is. And, like, this is the best. It's honestly the best 3D Sonic that I've played, like, at the moment. If the story comes together, like, I've always put Adventure up there. You know, I've always liked Adventure 1. And, like, if the story comes together for this the way that I think it's going to, it's going to be the best. It actually is. I'm interested to. I've looked up no spoilers for this, obviously, so I'm interested to see what like the 3rd, 4th, and 5th islands are like. I'm going to kind of imagine they're kind of following the old tropes of the first one's green, the next one's desert, the 3rd one's going to be mechanical, the 4th
maybe get
one's going to be
space, maybe
snow, space, cave, yeah, something like that. But yeah, anyway,
casino.
I did see one spoiler bit where there is a pinball stage, and I'm not quite sure how to activate it.
Because there is a bean machine.
Sorry, I forgot to mention this. Here's another thing why it's like Zelda. Do you remember in Breath of the Wild where it goes like the red moon rises and blah blah blah, and then
the enemies come back? Yeah.
It's got that in this, and it's called Starfall, and it's like all these shooting stars comes down and resurrects the enemies.
Okay.
However, it sonic-fies them. So, like, you can, while it's dark, you can go out and fight them, and they're like, you've got a star next to their name, so you know you've already beat them, and they're at a slightly higher level. But it's also got all these, like, multicolored, it looks like, you remember in Colors where you had to collect all the...
Never played Colors. Never played
right, you know what the wisps are, because they're another Sonic games, right? So they're all different multicolours. So they're all sticking out the ground with different colours, and if you collect them, it gives you one go in the slot machine that's on the screen while it's dark, like Casino Nights. So every one of them gives you a spin of the reels, and you can win purple coins.
Cool.
So I'm like, this is madness. This is like the Blood Moon Rising in Zelda, because you have resurrected stronger enemies, but you've also got a slot machine going on. I'm like, it's pretty cool. And I know there's a pinball game in it somewhere, but nice. I'm not sure how to activate that just yet. But between fishing with Big the Cat and just
there's a guide for you to write how to get pinball.
That's true. But like honestly, like you should give it a go. Like everyone, I know you will eventually, but it's such a good game. And it's do you know what the stupid thing is? If this had been delayed a week, it would have sold much, much better. Just a week.
I think they needed to delay it a few weeks. Just to avoid God of War, or just push it up a couple of weeks. Because see, a couple of weeks ago, no one's playing anything. Yeah. There's fucking nothing for months and months and months, and now like, it comes out the day before God of War, buried. It's getting fucking buried.
The week after Call of Duty as well.
Yeah, that's a bad time to come out. Plus the way they marketed it, it's not good.
I've got a feeling it's going to chart. I've got a feeling it is going to chart, but it'll be low.
Yeah, in the UK, probably. I mean, I think 8. In the UK, yeah, probably like 7. Anyway.
Well, and then the week after, you've got like Pokemon coming out like next week.
Yeah, I think it's in the chart for 1 week and gone.
Oh, 100%. And then, like you said, it will come back in January when everyone's like, let's go and check out Sonic. And
it'll go on sale. Like, it'll drop to like 30, 20, 30.
That's the thing. It's not a full price release. Like, it's what, 50?
Yeah, I think I've seen it for 45 on Amazon, something like that.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Considering, like, you've got, Last of Us remake at $70 for the PlayStation. Like, I still don't understand people that are getting that. From
God of War, a final price for God of War was $62.99 when it shipped. You know, Amazon always
that's
like,
that's not
whatever the lowest price was the time you bought it and when the time it ships.
Yeah, that's not terrible, but I mean, I've got a feeling God of War is going to be like 40-50 hours easily.
Oh yeah, I think so.
And
easy for me anyway, like easy 40-50 hours.
Sonic, probably 20-30. Probably 20-30. I think more 30 for me because I'm doing all the wee ins and outs, obviously. And then there's times where certain things can only be done at night. And unlike Sonic Unleashed, where you were the Werehog, you can't just change it to nighttime. you have to wait because it's dynamic night and day system, dynamic weather as well, so it rains and stuff. But
Cool.
yeah, I know my cat's now. Anyway, I better go and finish up there. But yeah, that was a good talk. We didn't do any news this week. We got through some 4 games. Next week, I'm pretty sure if we're doing a show next week, we'll be talking God of War Ragnarok.
Yes.
I'll talk
about Plague Tale next week as well.
No one wants to hear about that, but Andy will talk about it. That'll give me a chance for a break. So, Modern Warfare 2, Gotham Knights, God of War Ragnarok, Sonic Frontiers. Like, I've not played God of War, but I can recommend all of those games right now. And like, I'm so happy that Sonic's so good. I really am.
Yes.
I love it. Like the honestly the best feeling bit, and it's annoying that I've ruined it for you, was see when I got those 400 rings and he just went and the lightning all flashed over him, and I was like, this is amazing. And you are right. What Sega's thinking has been, we'll keep all this back so that we don't ruin it in the trailers. And it's like, no, those are the bits you need to ruin. Those are the bits you need to show us. So we go, that
to
is
build
cool.
the hype. You need to build the hype. They've
but
built
what you did was
hype.
You showed us like nothingness. You didn't even show us the fun bosses to fight. The bits that I remember in the trailer, I'm like, why have they shown us this?
Weird orb or some shit that you need to fight.
Oh, those are about, but they're not like all the enemies are
great.
strange. But what they showed in the trailer
wasn't exciting. It was still
even if you had changed it up, right?
Fight this grey orb. All right, okay.
It works fine because see, most enemies feel like something Robotnik would have made in the new movies because you know how his aren't full badniks, right?
Yeah, 100%. But don't show it in the trailer.
Don't show it in the trailer.
For the trailer.
No, what they should have showed us is the portals, like to the old Sonic missions. Play classic Sonic missions, like we said this earlier, but we'll do it again. And then they should have also just showed you like your upgrades, like how fast Sonic can go. The fucking fishing with Big would have been cool to show, like, and then like fan service, this, that. Talk more about what the story is going on instead of being so secretive. Like, and I know folk don't like spoilers, but they should have touched upon it a lot more. And then like showing us the puzzle solving, explained a bit more of the Cyclone, because then people would have been like, you know what, that's actually pretty cool. Went over the different handling that you've got, so that's your Sonic's totally customizable and different from mine. I didn't even know we had the drop dash until I played the game today. Folk love the drop dash move. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, that's all we've got time for tonight. I know I've seen a few folk jumping in, tuning in, listening. Thank you very much if you've joined us. Let us know what you thought about Gotham Knights, or if you've played Sonic, or if you're watching this indeed and you've played God of War Ragnarok, let us know as well, and we'll talk about it next week in the show. Once again, thank you very much for tuning in and watching. At the moment, we are still on Twitter until we change our name to Elon Musk and he decides to pull us down as well. So you can get us there, and you can obviously do you know the handy thing about YouTube is now we've got handles, even though 42 already had its own youtube.com/42level1. You can get us at 42level1 on YouTube. Cool. And if you know that, if you're here. So
nice.
Yeah. So it's a good time if you've got a handle you want to grab, Andy, like go and grab it now, because then all people need to do in the search bar on YouTube is type like at Handy Andy or whatever you call yourself.
Handy Andy.
No. Yeah, the bat bitch. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in and watching. We'll hopefully see you next week. Bye.
Bye.